Conclusion. Do it now, seriously. I know that a lot of people are under the impression that they will expand their business or create sales and content funnels when the time is right. Here's the problem. The time will never be right. If you are sure that you want to do this, decide to do it now. Commit to it. If you are going to rely on whether it feels right or not, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Before you know it, you're going to be buying one product after another and end up failing to lift a finger to turn the businesses that those products talk about into a reality for yourself. Watch each video closely. I know that at this point you're really pumped up. You probably want to jump in with both feet, but do yourself a big favor. Watch each video closely. Understand what's involved. Pay attention to how each step works with each other so you don't make a mistake. Remember, you're building a business. This means that you have to set things up right the first time around and then you optimize. You can't do things in a half-baked way. You can't just build it and then backtrack. Try to get things as well put together in the beginning so that you can start to produce results and you remain motivated to keep optimizing your business. Have faith. Finally, you must have faith in yourself. You have to understand that people have been pulling off the things that I'm talking about in this training for a long time. They're making good money. If they can do it, why can't you? Please understand that you're not much different from other people. Sure, you may have zero budget, but you have a lot of time. Sure, you may not have an in-depth knowledge, but you have your sense of curiosity and excitement. Whatever the case may be, stop making excuses for yourself to delay and start taking action today. Introduction. A lot of people who try to sell anything online simply are not doing a good job of it. This is the main reason why the vast majority of people trying to sell affiliate products simply can't make a living off their online marketing. It's not because these people are dumb. It's not because they are incapable of making money online. Please understand that just because you have heard that you can make a lot of passive income on the internet doesn't necessarily mean that you just need to roll up your sleeves and put up a website and, all of a sudden, all this money will come. I hate to break it to you, but the whole idea of build it and they will come is just a pipe dream. It may have worked 10 years ago, but believe me, it doesn't work today. There's just simply too much competition out there. In fact, according to several estimates, every single day, over 2 million pieces of fresh online content is uploaded every single day. Think about that for a second. Try to wrap your mind around that figure. 2 million pieces. So it doesn't matter what kind of niche you're in. It doesn't matter how obscure or esoteric your niche category may seem to you. There is simply too much competition out there. And to think that you just put up a website and suddenly all these people would come banging on your digital door and handing you their hard-earned dollars is simply a fantasy. Disabuse yourself of that thinking if you want to have a chance of actually making money online. How the online money-making game is truly played. If you truly want to create passive income using online properties, listen up. You have to create a sales funnel. Just because you put up an online article doesn't mean that people who find that article will find it so compelling and so persuasive that they would hand you dollars. It doesn't work that way. Instead, you have to look at them as sheep. That's right. You have to be a shepherd. You have to understand that for people to look for your content, deep down inside, they're already interested in whatever you are pushing. Maybe you're selling a service. Maybe you're trying to promote some sort of affiliate product. Maybe you run an online store. It doesn't matter. People who read your content are somehow, some way, already interested. But the problem is the way you position your offering plays a big role in how they would respond. You have to look at the situation from their perspective. When was the last time you bought anything online? Chances are it hasn't been all that long. When you were looking for something online, you're not looking to hand Joe Blow 10 of your hard-earned dollars. No, instead, you're thinking to yourself, I have a problem. I'm looking for a solution to my problem. I'm looking for a page on the internet that would convince me that they understand my problem and they could lead me to the right solution. This is how most people shop online. In fact, a lot of people who buy stuff buy it impulsively. It's not because they don't want to spend their money. It's just because they came across the right materials that spoke to their needs. Even if their needs are not of the highest priority, they come across online content that appealed to those needs in the right way, so they end up parting ways with their hard-earned money. You can do the same. It all boils down to creating the right sales funnel. What is a sales funnel anyway? Look at how a funnel is shaped. It is like an inverted pyramid. It's very wide at the top, and as you get closer and closer to the actual exit section of the funnel, it gets narrower and narrower. You should think of everything you do online as some sort of funnel. As each prospect gets closer and closer to the bottom end of the funnel, there's less and less prospects. This is a good thing because the funnel works to filter people based on their interest. If you don't set up such a system, it's going to be very hard for you to convert people. That's the bottom line. Whether you make your money through ad clicks using the AdSense monetization platform, or you sell affiliate products, or you sell your own services, or you run your own online dropshipping store, it doesn't matter. You're trying to convert people from simple clickers of links and readers of your content to cold, hard cash. The sales funnel model helps you craft together working strategies that would help you turn your content and traffic into cash. This training teaches you how to optimize your sales funnel. My goal is to help you realize key strategies that will help you maximize conversions and thereby maximize your profits. What is a sales funnel? A sales funnel is essentially a filtration system. There are many different types of eyeballs your link or content will attract on the internet. Most of these are not interested in buying, at least not right now. Your sales funnel helps you process all these people to maximize the amount of dollars you can get out of them. Most sales filters are not set up the right way. A lot of marketers fail because they think they have a sales funnel. What they have is a leaky bucket. Know the difference. A sales funnel does the following. Sales funnels must demonstrate the value of a particular solution. Sales funnels must speak to the needs of people looking for a solution. Sales funnels must build trust in a particular category of solution. Sales funnels must direct potential buyers to a specific category of solutions, leading to a specific type of product. Sales funnels must build trust in a specific product offering to the exclusion of competing offers. If your sales funnel doesn't do all the above, you have a leaky bucket. At best, you are settling for cents on the dollar. At worst, you are losing money and are left confused as to why. How do you know your sales funnel is working? This is actually very easy. Either you're making the most amount of dollars from your online activities or you're not. That's the bottom line. It's very easy to figure out. Don't obsess about traffic. Don't get all excited about click-through rates. Don't put too much faith on how many people engage with your content on social media. All those are important, but the most important metric is profit. To generate profit, your funnel must convert. Focus on conversion at the end of the funnel first. Then work back up the funnel to maximize the effectiveness of each step prior to conversion. Sales funnels have different components. This is where people screw up. They think that a sales funnel is just all about converting traffic into cash. They don't realize that you need to give people information so they would trust you enough to buy whatever it is you were pushing. Accordingly, a sales funnel is made up of two parts: the content funnel and a conversion funnel. Don't confuse the two. They are not one and the same. They overlap each other, but they are not one and the same. A conversion funnel takes traffic and turns it into cash by getting the prospect to go through a series of pages or blocks of text within one page. As the person progresses through each section, that person develops the following. First, they get the impression that you know what you're talking about. They start to believe that you are knowledgeable enough about whatever it is you're talking about for them to continue to read your stuff. This can be in one page, this can be in a couple of pages, or this can take place in a series of pages, or it can take the form of a series of emails. Regardless, it's all about building credibility. An effective conversion funnel sets things up in such a way that the more your prospect reads your stuff, the more they believe you. This ultimately creates enough trust for your prospect to do what you want them to do. This can take different forms. You can ask them to fill out a form, and when they fill out the form, you get paid by a sponsor. You can ask them to click on a sales link that says, "Order now." When they buy something, you get a commission. You can ask them to enter their email address and join your mailing list. Regardless of the form it takes, the goal of a conversion funnel is the same. It's all about getting traffic from the internet, filtering it down to a core group of people who believe you and trust your authority enough to do what you want them to do. What is a content funnel? A content funnel is a series of blog posts, articles, and pages both on your site and on third-party websites that step visitors through different stages of trust. At first, you get them to understand and believe that you are credible when it comes to a specific body of knowledge. For example, if people are looking for tips on how to deworm their dogs, your content funnel would start with material that answers basic questions regarding the deworming process. When people read these, they get the information that they're looking for, but they're probably looking for other information. Now that they know how to deworm a dog, is there a best way to do it? Is there a product that makes it as quick, painless, and convenient as possible? Your content funnel takes care of all these questions, but it all does it in the context of building greater and greater trust in your authority. It starts with establishing in the minds of the reader that you are knowledgeable and credible enough about the basic questions that they're asking. If they like what they read and they still have other questions regarding which solution is the best, they can click the link and then you would lead them through your comparison of the different types of solutions out there. Again, these are not necessarily individual products. These can be just different ways to purge your dog. You can compare the different ways of purging your dog. There's a 100% organic way, and then there are the traditional chemical ways, so on and so forth. You compare these then to highlight to the reader that you can be trusted because you know enough to be able to compare, and then you suggest a specific solution, and then when they click through to that, they end up in a trust page. This is where basically you earn their trust by spelling out, usually in the form of an in-depth report or a review of the pros and cons of a specific product or solution. From here, you can then convert them. You can link them to a conversion funnel, or you can get them to sign up to a mailing list. Effective sales funnels start with product knowledge. Intimately know whatever it is you are promoting. Whether you're selling a product or service or you're an affiliate pushing someone else's stuff, it doesn't matter. You must establish some level of expertise in whatever it is you are pushing. If you're clueless regarding what you're selling, how do you expect to gain credibility and authority in the eyes of people you're trying to get to buy from you? That's just not going to happen because you did not put in the time, effort, and energy to achieve that level of knowledge. Effective product knowledge is vital for both conversion funnels and content funnels. Some key questions you need to ask. What problem does your product solve? Think in basic terms. If you're selling something, it's because it solves a problem. If you're a real estate agent, you're selling a home. Why do people need a home? It's not what you think. They need it for location. Some people buy it for status. Other people buy it for a lifestyle. Understanding these different reasons and navigating your way around them enables you to tie these reasons with certain audiences so you can speak their language. Can you speak your audience's language? Most people always ask themselves, what's in it for me? You must understand this question and you have to answer it in the same language as the person you're trying to sell to. Otherwise, you're not going to make a sale. It's just that simple. You must present your product's value proposition in clear terms that readily answer the questions your customers are asking in their heads. Can you speak in terms of benefits? When people buy a Mercedes-Benz, it's not because they're just looking to get from point A to point B. If that's all they wanted, they could have bought one of many cheaper brands. You must speak their language. What is their reason? They're looking for luxury. They're looking for tangible proof that they can show to other people that they have arrived at a higher social status. That's the whole point of buying a Mercedes-Benz, a Ferrari, a BMW, or a Porsche. You must zero in on that complex of competing needs and speak the language of your prospect. Can you split up different benefits and express them carefully? It's very important to understand that when people end up on your conversion page, that these people are not identical. For example, back to the Mercedes-Benz scenario. Different people would buy different Mercedes-Benz for different reasons. We know that if people are just looking for basic transportation, they're probably not going to pick a Benz. That's a very expensive option just to take care of basic transport needs. With that out of the way, you must list all the potential benefits people would look for in a branded, sophisticated, and prestigious German automotive brand. It's not all about social status. Some people are looking for the utmost quality. In other words, They're thinking to themselves, if I buy the very best product, I know there's a high likelihood that I won't break down in the middle of nowhere. Other people buy a Mercedes-Benz because they have a certain affinity to the Mercedes-Benz's engineering tradition. When you're creating a conversion funnel, you have to zero in on all these potential reasons and benefits, and then you have to prioritize them. Which are more likely? Which could be tied to questions? Which are more practical? But whatever you do, your sales funnel must speak to all these different needs to push people down the funnel. Remember, different benefits appeal to different people, so when you get all these clicks from your paid Facebook ad campaigns or from your organic article marketing, your sales funnel must have enough information in it to appeal to different types of people. You can't just assume that everybody who lands on your page are trying to meet the same needs. That's like a Mercedes ad just basically saying that it's all about luxury. That's a great ad if you're sure that almost all the people looking at that ad are looking for luxury. But what about the person who is looking for the very best engineered car he or she could find? What about the other person who just has an affinity for a lot of things German, and so on down the line? You have to craft a sales funnel that speaks to these different needs to capture all these people and push them down the funnel so you can convert them into cold, hard cash, translating consumer intelligence into a workable content strategy. Sales funnels can be made of just conversion pages or content with conversion pages. A lot of marketers think that they just need to buy traffic and then dump this traffic on conversion pages. If that's your strategy, you can do that. I'll teach you how to do that effectively. However, if you are looking to save money or if you have no money at all, you can still make money online by using content to attract traffic from the internet for free and then plug this into conversion pages. You have to be mindful of which strategy you are using. Conversion funnel only versus content funnel plus conversion funnel. Don't confuse content funnels with conversion funnels. Conversion funnels can work with paid traffic. You basically just buy traffic and dump it into a series of pages, and what comes out is a sale. Pretty straightforward. I'll teach you how to optimize these later. But if you don't have any money or you're low on funds, you can use online content to pull traffic from search engines, social media platforms, and other sources for online traffic and plug these into your conversion pages. You need to know how these two alternative models work. You can't confuse the two. If you think they're one and the same, then you're playing the game wrong, and it's no surprise that you are losing money hand over fist. Content funnels explained. Content funnels are all about building trust. For somebody to buy something from you, they must trust you. That's the bottom line. Content funnels are built on a central question. How do you get people to trust you online? First, you need to get them to understand that you know about their needs. Second, you have to get them to like your expertise or like your take or your understanding of their problems. This leads to trust. Once you get them to trust you, you can then push them to buy from you. The KLT process. KLT stands for know, like, and trust. Your content must be arranged in this way. The end result is trust. That's where you plug in your content funnel to your conversion funnel. The KLT process must drive your site's design, not the other way around. If you're going to create a content-dense website that uses a content funnel strategy, I suggest using the silo system. This starts out with general information, which is then linked to pages that have more detailed info. When people read these, it's easy for them to click from one page to the next, depending on how pumped up they are in finding more about the topic they're researching. These must be question-based so they're easier to digest. It's important that your whole website must be designed this way, so it seems effortless and doesn't take much thinking for people to navigate. They can start out very slow and low, basically on pages dealing with general information, and as they click, they get deeper and deeper into more detailed information until they get comparisons, and then they end up at trust pages, which essentially just push one particular product to them. What's important is that all their questions are asked as they go through the process. The KLT process must drive your promotion efforts. Now that you have set up your website based on questions, starting out with the K, knowledge pages, you must promote your site using your K pages. Well, what do I mean by that? Throughout the internet, people are asking questions. Maybe they're on Twitter. Perhaps they're on a Facebook group. Possibly they left a comment on a Facebook page post. whatever form it takes. Usually people are asking questions, and when you look at how you should have set up your K pages, they're all about questions. Basically, you just look for these existing questions on the internet and then explain your content a bit, and then drop a link to your content. You're not spamming because you are answering a question and you are providing a resource. It all depends on how you do this. You can't just drop a link and expect the reader to put two and two together and realize that you're not spamming. No, that doesn't work that way. Instead, people will think that you are spamming your link. You have to at least put in the effort to connect the question that they asked, the answer that's on your page, and then get them excited about learning more by the topic and then dropping the link. If you do that, your link is no longer spam, generally speaking. Instead, your link is actually a resource because you made a claim, and then they can click on the link for more information. In other words, it acts as some sort of citation. This is not much different from reading an essay and basically being intrigued by a claim that's made, and if you want to investigate the claim more, there's a citation. The key to successfully using your K pages as part of your general online promotion efforts is to establish credibility and authority first. This means that when you're on forums, answer people's questions that may not have anything to do with your website. You have to be obvious with your need to help others. People hate traffic poachers. Basically, it's obvious that these people don't really care about the members of the community or the people reading their stuff. They just want to make money. You don't want to be that person, and how do you know you care? Share information. Go out of your way to help people, and then when you drop that link, your site will pull in people and then push them down the content funnel. The bottom line is to live by the old saying, people are not going to care about what you know until they know that you care. Get that? Good. Understanding your content funnel's L pages. A lot of people misunderstand the role of L pages. L pages, of course, stand for like pages. These are pages intended to push people to trust your brand enough to buy from you. In other words, these L pages assume that when people click over to them, they know enough about the basic information of your niche. They're not trying to answer general questions. L pages don't share basic info. I just want you to be clear about this. When you create an L page, you're not saying to the reader why you are interested in this stuff or people are interested in this type of product. They don't want that. That's introductory stuff. For example, if somebody is looking to bake Napolitano-style pizza, they go first to a K page that tells them that Napoli-style pizza came from Naples in Italy. It was brought by Italian immigrants to the United States. It is a very tasty form of pizza. It's puffy, so on and so forth. When people go to an L page from that original K page, they don't want to be told the same info. They already know the background. Now they want specifics, like how not to burn their Napoli pizza too much. What kind of pieces are available to produce the very best Neapolitan-style pizza? You get the point. They're looking for deeper information, which would then eventually lead them to buying a product. They have deeper needs at this point. Don't waste their time by rehashing basics or intro. It just erodes your credibility and authority. When people land on an L page, you should safely assume that they already know about the categorical options available to them. L pages are all about distinction. L pages are all about pushing your prospect to one type of product category over another. In other words, since a reader ended up on your L page, they already think you are credible to a certain degree. Now, they're basically open or susceptible to you suggesting to them one particular broad category of solutions over another. In many cases, this involves disabusing them of earlier held beliefs regarding other options. L pages must interlink to produce this disabusing effect. Remember, the whole point of L pages is to create distinction in the mind of the prospective buyer. Prior to this point, they were at the K page level and they're basically saying, well, there are so many options out there and they're basically the same. The job of a well-written L page is to say, no, they're not. How do you make your case? You can say that there are different levels. There are different categories. There are different types. There are different brands. There are different products. You put it all together by creating L pages that compare these. So, with the different levels, you list them down. You say top level, bottom level, and then explain why. In terms of categories, you just pit category versus category. You would say this is one particular category of solution and this is another. These are weaknesses and strengths, pros and cons, you name it. When it comes to types, just put type versus type. Again, walk them through the advantages and disadvantages. The same goes with brand versus brand and product versus product. Get a clear idea on the different forms of L pages. L pages are all about comparisons. They're all about contrasting different options to highlight in the minds of prospective buyers why your particular option is superior to everybody else. The best way to do this is through some sort of comparison model. These take many different forms. These can be side-by-side product comparisons, categorical comparisons, categorical consumer guides regarding different broad types of products, brand-by-brand comparisons, and other types of comparisons that enable consumers to compare and contrast different options available to them. Set up your comparisons using a funnel. I can't advise you to just slap together some reviews and call it a day. People who land on those reviews wouldn't know what to do with them. You haven't set them up properly. It's like trying to ask a girl to marry you the moment you just meet her. That doesn't make any sense. You have to set her up first, right? The same applies to L pages. You can't just go straight to a comparison. Remember, they're coming from K pages, which is basically establishing your credibility. So, you have to have some sort of intermediary set of pages that highlights, in broad terms, the different options out there and why your preferred class of solutions makes the most sense in the lives of your prospective audience members. You have to qualify people first. You have to understand that a lot of people may bounce off your website. They might think, this is not the information I'm looking for. And that's fine. They were never your customers to begin with. They weren't going to buy from you anyway. What's important is you focus on people who are suggestible. These are people you can persuade or otherwise influence to eventually buy from you. Set up your comparisons to win. A lot of people think that if they just put up a comparison of different products that somehow, some way, the prospective buyer will know what to do. Well, chances are they'll get pieces of information from your comparison chart and buy somewhere else. This happens all the time to Amazon affiliate marketers. It's really sad that they do all the heavy lifting and research, only to end up with a whole lot of nothing because their prospective customers spend their hard-earned dollars somewhere else. You don't want that to happen to you. So, you have to set up your comparisons in an underhanded way. Basically, just by looking at the comparisons, it becomes abundantly clear what direction you're pushing them to. Is this underhanded? Yes, but it doesn't have to be unethical. If you lay out the facts, then ultimately, it's the consumer's choice. It's all about playing up your strongest hand. Selling anything online and offline is like playing poker. You want to work with your strongest hand. Even the worst product in the world can still be positioned in such a way that it can be bought. And it all boils down to highlighting your strongest feature. Even the ugliest woman on the planet can still find a date if she positions herself right. Maybe she's got a great sense of humor. Maybe a lot of people think she is smart as a whip. That's good enough for a lot of guys. So, do yourself a big favor. Even if you're selling a dog of a product, look at its strongest point. Maybe it has really cheap shipping. Maybe it has amazing customer support infrastructure behind it. Look for your strongest product and compare the different alternative options based on your strongest point. Just as a very ugly woman is not going to compare herself to a supermodel, you shouldn't compare your product to its category killer. That doesn't make any sense. You have to position the category killer based on its weakest point, which happens to be the strongest point for your product. That's how you get a sale. That's how you get into the head of even the most skeptical consumer. Call the reader to action. A lot of people think that call to action phrases only apply to sales pages. They're clueless about the fact that even content pages have to have a call to action. You have to understand that if consumers are unclear as to the next action they're going to take, they can be relied on to do nothing. Unfortunately, when they do that, they don't put any money in your bank account. You don't see extra dollars in your online bank account. That's just not going to happen because your website's visitors are confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't know what steps to take next. You have to take the initiative for them. You have to spell it out. Assume that everybody that ends up on your website has an 8th grade education. Keep it simple. You'd be surprised as to how hard you can push people down the content conversion funnel until you get them eating off the palm of your hands.